We are here at Roger Williams Park at the Zoo Service Road BMP talking about maintenance. On this particular BMP, we have an inlet out on the roadway that used to be a catch basin that pumped right to the ponds. We have taken it offline. The water in that catch basin comes down, goes through a clean out, which is a cylinder on top of the pipe that allows maintenance personnel to remove the cover and see if there's debris in the pipe itself. So that's typically where the cleanouts are found, in areas where the pipe takes a change of direction, because typically that's where the sediment will build up. So simply with a vac truck, the cap can be removed, the vac can suck the pipe up and push the pipe down towards the catch basin, towards the forebay, and remove the sediment in the pipe. As you come down, a pipe enters the sediment forebay, which is a paver's forebay again, as you will see throughout Roger Williams Park. Out on the roadway, DPW or maintenance crews will do their normal maintenance, which can be the removal of the sediment in the sump in the basin itself, which can be done with a clamshell truck or a vacuum truck. Most departments now are moving to vacuums. With a vacuum truck, you have the ability not only to remove the sediment in the sump, which is below the pipe in the basin itself, but also clear out the pipe, which oftentimes with a large amount of sediment will make its way down the pipe. So with a clamshell, you can clean out the basin, but you don't have any opportunity to clean out the pipe itself, which can impede the flow, and then end up backing up on your roadway, which at the end will send the water somewhere else, making its way back into the pond. So hopefully most of that water makes its way into the treatment center. At this BMP, after you go through the sediment forebay, which with the pavers allows crews, maintenance crews, to see exactly when that sediment has started to build up and remove it very easily, it makes its way through a stone gabion. So the wear here is not only granite curbing, which align both sides, or boulders, it actually is gabion baskets, which is a mesh metal basket that has stones in it. Those stones will provide the volatility and the reduce in velocity to drop the sediment out. For aesthetics, we topped those gabion baskets with a grow sock, which is a environmental sock that has material that grass or plant material will grow on top. Here at this site, they have been less than successful. We've not been able to get the grass to grow on it. In other areas where they have been successful, some of the maintenance issues we face is because it is a chain link fence type material on top, if it's a continuous mowing, our mowers will catch those metal pieces. So we have to make sure that the metal is down low enough where our blades will not catch them. We got to make sure the blade's at the proper height. But when done properly, you can mow right over them, and they'll almost be invisible to people passing by because it looks just like the grass area. So what do you do when the sediment continues to build up? Hopefully, if your maintenance program allows you to remove that sediment in the forebay before it really makes its way into the gabion baskets, it's easy to clean off the face of the gabion basket and remove that material. If maintenance is deferred, the sediment will start to make its way through the gabion basket. What we plan on doing in that case is using a power washer to try and push the sediment through. In extreme cases, with a lot of buildup and a clog, you can remove the top of the basin, remove the stones, remove the sediment, return the stones, and close the basket back up again. That's pretty intensive maintenance. We won't ever want to get to that part. And if the forebay is maintained properly, you won't have to. After the water leaves the pre-treatment, if the sediment is removed, the treatment area, which is vegetated, should require very little maintenance. We also have the overflow here, where the containment berms are at one elevation and slightly lower is our overflow pipe. So if the water builds up in here, the water will go down the overflow rather than breaching the berms. We have a planted slope that's mainly for aesthetics. The grass area is what provides our treatment zone. We had a very large storm last night. It continues to rain now, so this standing water, as long as it's gone within a day or two, is not an issue for mosquitoes or other things that can be a problem with standing water. But when the maintenance here, if the sediment starts to make its way through your wear and through your pre-treatment, you will need to remove that sediment. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to do. Maintenance crews have a difficult time differentiating between the sediment and the actual vegetated area, in particularly if you have erosion. So we try and make it so that we're not removing sediment from the treatment area, because you're changing the elevation typically. You're providing an erosion control problem because you're removing the vegetation typically. So maintenance of the forebay allows us not to do a lot of maintenance in the treatment area. In your maintenance review, you also want to make sure that your overflow is clear of debris so that water that needs to go into the overflow is not being impacted and can make its way down there. In addition, grades change in landscape areas throughout the years, so you want to make sure that you're maintaining the proper elevation on your berms. We have an area where users that come to the park use this berm as a walkway, and at one of our BMPs, they decreased the height and elevation of the top of the berm, and the overflow was no longer working. The water was breaching it, making its way right into the pond. So you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of erosion on the top of your berm, because those elevations are extremely important in the functionality of the site itself. In extreme cases, you may have to rebuild that berm with loam, reseed it, put your erosion control fabric down to reestablish the elevation.